Healthcare, education, roads, and social services. The things that bring people together. The things that people deserve to have. In the past, Madam Speaker, what we saw was two parties that would cut and gut the heck out of services that people deserved the most. Healthcare and education, Madam Speaker. They fired nurses, Madam Speaker.
They closed nursing schools.
They closed hospitals. They told our doctors to go away because we need to balance the books. Well, Madam Speaker, we did it differently. We respected the collective bargaining process. Why would they not respect the collective bargaining process, Madam Speaker? It's because they have the inexperience of how to govern, Madam Speaker. Every time the Conservative Party and the Liberal Party are in government, we have more debt. Why do we have approximately $13 billion of debt on our books today, Madam Speaker? It's because of the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party. They forget to mention that. Madam Speaker, do you know how much we pay on debt? Do you know how much we pay for our credit cards on, essentially it's our credit cards for this province? Almost $900 million. And that is because of the decisions of those two parties. Can you imagine if we had an extra $900 million to use on the services and programs that people deserve and need? I can't imagine. The NDP, Madam Speaker, if you look across the country, any time the New Democratic Party has governed a province, we have a plan to move forward with that province. We ensure that we have had a historic record of saying that we have had we are the party that has the least amount, the most amount of balanced budgets. We are the party that has the most amount of balanced budgets. That is something Tommy Douglas, who was the founder of our party, was the founder of Medicare, said, before we can do anything, Madam Speaker, of course I'm paraphrasing here, but before we do anything, Madam Speaker, we have to have our fiscal house in order. That is something that I think is crucial. That is something that is crucial to ensure so that we can ensure the services that people want and deserve are coming forward. Now, I know, Madam Speaker, again, the Liberal Party is listening intently, but we want to ensure that Nova Scotians understand that the Liberal Party is not up to the job. They are not up to the job because they have the inexperience of governing this province. They play politics. They play politics in every situation, Madam Speaker. I don't think the people of Nova Scotia, they don't have the inexperience. Now, the other day I was sitting in this chamber, and the Premier was at an announcement. The Premier was at an announcement with Projects. Now, Projects is a company that's coming to Nova Scotia to ensure jobs for our young people, Madam Speaker. 500 jobs. And the Liberal Party had the audacity to treat them so rude and embarrassing and the CEO of that company was sitting in the gallery. I can't believe they had the audacity to laugh at the fact that this company is bringing Nova Scotians home. And they laughed. In fact, they laughed at a service that a tool that we use to bring companies to Nova Scotia. We used a tool that they brought in, and now all of a sudden they're against it? That is exactly what the Liberal Party is all about. One of the things that I find interesting, Madam Speaker, is that when we talk about how we would pay, how they would pay for the things that they discuss. So, I find it interesting that when they talk about, for instance, they say, we shouldn't have increased HST, that they would decrease it immediately. Okay, so that's $300 million that they have to find in the things that matter to people the most. $300 million, Madam Speaker. So that's one. Two, they said they would roll back the removal of the HST off electricity. Okay, so Madam Speaker, that's approximately another $100 million they would have to find in the budget. $100 million. They also said that they wouldn't have backfilled the post-secondary education that we had to ensure that tuition rates did not go up by 30% because of the federal Conservatives who cut the transfers to the provinces. So in my head, Madam Speaker, I see that as approximately probably almost $500 million. Plus, then they said they wouldn't reduce, or they wouldn't bring, at least put a leash on the amount of money spent on health care, that they would continue at the rate of 7-8% increases every year. So what would they cut? And I wish a member from the opposition would stand in their place and tell us. I wish they would tell us, because I don't think they can. They promise everything under the sun to every person, but you know what, Madam Speaker? They can't deliver. They can't deliver. You know why they can't deliver, Madam Speaker? Because we tried that experiment, and it didn't work for the people of this province, Madam Speaker. And for me to be chastised, to stand up in my place, to represent the people that I represent, and talk about the issues that matter to them, and they whine and complain at me that I'm standing up and talking about the issues that matter, it is absolutely shameful that they're doing that. Shameful. So, Madam Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to stand in my place to represent my people of Hammonds Plains, Upper Sackville. I look forward to ensuring that the people of this province know that a good future is in the hands for them of this province, and in particular the people in the gallery, to ensure that the province is set forward for a future that starts here, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The honourable member for Hammonds Plains, Upper Sackville.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, I wish to say that I adjourn debate on address and reply.
Motion is to adjourn debate on address and reply. All in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed nay. The motion is carried. Now recognize the honourable member for Bedford Birch Cove on an introduction.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On behalf of my colleague from Dartmouth East, I would like to make an introduction. Direct your attention to the East Gallery, where we have some guests here from École de Carrefour, Matthew Boudreau, Katie Saint-Martin, and I think 14 others as well. So I would ask you to give them the warm welcome of the House.
Welcome our guests to today's proceedings. Hope that you enjoy a few moments that are left. Recognize the Honourable Deputy House Leader, Government House Leader.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. It's unfortunate that we have finished the discussion on our bills today, and we do have some guests in the gallery, which I too would like to welcome. Madam Speaker, that concludes the government's business for today. I ask that the House do rise to meet again on Tuesday, November the 13th, with the House hours from 2 until 6 p.m. After daily routine, which would include question period, we would be calling bills for second reading. Bill number 119, the Cosmetology Act, and Bill number 125, the War Amps Key Tag Act. And we will also plan to go with address in reply. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The motion is that we do now rise to meet again Tuesday, November the 13th, between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion is carried. We stand adjourned.